When it comes to paddling performance and speed, we're all looking for the best way to take our performance to the next level. From form and technique to strength and conditioning, there are many factors that contribute to a powerful paddle stroke. But there's one thing that you can do today to see immediate results in your paddling performance, and that, my folks, is simply engaging your trap muscles. It's an incredibly simple thing to do, but yet so many people don't do it. So let's talk about what benefits it provides you, how to do it, when to do it, and some exercises that you can do to increase the strength in your trap muscles. Let's get into it. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with what your trap muscles are, your trap muscles basically run from the top of your shoulders here down into the point of a triangle here in the middle of your back. So there's a large portion of your upper back muscles right here that connect in also to your deltoid muscles on your shoulders. And the main benefit you're going to receive in your paddling technique and performance when it comes to engaging your trap muscles is you'll gain increased force down onto your paddle shaft, which therefore gives you increased power, which therefore translates into a higher speed for your performance. So once again, by engaging trap muscles, you gain increased force, downward force in your paddle shaft, increased power, and then increased speed. And that is the main benefit you're going to receive by engaging your trap muscles. So when it comes to doing that, or by not doing this, first off, when you're not engaging your trap muscles up here with every single paddle stroke, you're being more relaxed in your upper part of your body and your shoulder muscles up here. When you go to hinge forward and down your paddle shaft as you begin your paddle stroke, as your blade begins to hit the water surface and the water surface begins to push up against your paddle blade, at the same time you're pushing down on your paddle shaft, your upper body, that upward force of the paddle blade or the water hitting your paddle blade is going to push up against your paddle shaft here. And if your muscles are not engaged up there with your trap muscles, that shaft is going to want to push up on you, causing you to lose downward force as you're hinging forward and down on your paddle shaft. So basically, if you're not doing that, as you go to hinge forward, it's going to push up against you as you're hinging down, causing you to lose that little bit of extra power you can be gaining into your paddle stroke here. So to help fix this, as I said earlier, we want to engage our trap muscles and our shoulder deltoid muscles. By engaging this muscle group, it allows us to be more rigid in the upper part of our body here, which allows us to transfer all that downward force of us pushing down on our paddle shaft here by hinging forward and down on it, down into the paddle blade, giving us more power into our stroke, therefore translating to more speed as well. So we're engaging and going through that paddle stroke here with engaged trap muscles and deltoid muscles, giving us more power and more speed. So now let's talk about how to engage your trap muscles. And the best way to do this is simply imagining flexing your trap muscles in the upper part of your back. So when you go to flex and engage your trap muscles back here, you'll kind of notice that your shoulders will pull up and back a little bit as you flex those upper shoulder muscles in your body there. So relax is down here, flex, bring the shoulders up and back just a little bit as you engage that muscle group, become rigid. And you can feel the immediate difference as when you're relaxed to engaging those muscle groups. You can feel how much more rigid your upper back is up here as you engage that muscle group. So relaxed, flexed, and rigid. Relaxed, flexed, and rigid. You should be able to feel that immediate difference in your muscle group. And by creating that flexed, rigid muscles in your upper part of your back there, once again, it goes to show you by having that be rigid, engaged, and ready to apply some downward force, allows you to apply more of that force down onto your paddle shaft as you're going through your paddle stroke. All right, before I talk about the next step of when to engage your trap muscles during a paddle stroke, I first want to let you guys know that I'm now offering detailed, in-depth paddle stroke video analysis. And this is a great way for you to find new ways to improve your paddling form and technique that will make a massive, massive difference in your paddling performance. Because even though strength and conditioning plays a major part in terms of your performance, a greater even part of that is your form and technique. Because without good form and technique, your strength and power cannot be applied properly to your paddle stroke. I know for me personally, I benefited from this greatly in my paddling journey, as I've had other people view and analyze my stroke as well. And through that, I'm able to learn new things that I haven't been able to see in my paddle stroke that other people have seen that help me correct those things in terms of my technique, making me a better paddler. So if this sounds like something that you may be interested in doing, feel free to go check it out on my website, link down below. Now when it comes to knowing when to exactly engage our trap muscles during our paddle stroke, you first need to know what the 5 phases are of our paddle stroke. And even though some other people may teach different phases in their paddle stroke, I teach it in 5 phases. And that is the entry phase, the catch phase, the power phase, the exit phase, and the recovery phase. And by knowing these 5 phases, we can now talk about which phases you should be engaging your trap muscles in order to have the most efficiency and the most effective transfer of power down onto your paddle shaft. So once again, I'm going to grab my indoor paddle shaft here to demonstrate this for you guys. And we're going to set up into the first phase, which is the entry phase of our paddle stroke. So we're get set up in our sup stance here. And this first phase, the entry phase, is now when we actually want to engage our trap muscles. So you want to flex those shoulder muscles, feel the shoulders pull back a little bit, and tense up. And as we enter the water, we're burying that blade into the water, starting to feel the transfer of our force down onto our paddle blade through our paddle shaft into the water. We want to keep our trap muscles engaged through the catch phase of our paddle stroke and all the way through the power phase. And once we finish the power phase of our paddle stroke, we begin the exit part of our paddle stroke. It's during the exit phase that we can now begin to slightly relax our trap muscles and our deltoid muscles as we come up. And during the recovery phase, as we bring our paddle shaft up and forward again, we can relax that muscle group. And then once again, set up here for an entry part of our catch, or the entry phase of our paddle stroke. We can then once again re-engage our trap muscles, enter the water, keep them engaged through the catch and power phases, exit, begin to relax them, fully relax during the recovery phase, set back up again, engage, enter the water. So you can see that the 3 major phases that we want to have our trap muscles engaged through is the entry phase, the catch phase, and the power phase, as those are the phases that we are applying a lot of downward force onto our paddle shaft, giving us more power and more speed. Now that's kind of what I do for distance or longer distance paddles. If you're doing more sprint style technique, you will want to keep them a little bit more engaged, especially during the exit and recovery phase, because you're doing a faster cadency of paddle strokes in the water. So you're doing sprint races, because we're trying to bring our paddle shaft up out of the water and forward again quickly to get another paddle stroke back in again. We're still kind of keeping that muscle group engaged because we're pulling up and out as we're hinging forward or hinging back up again, pushing our paddle shaft back forward again, and then into the water. So it's a faster movement. So because of that, we're keeping that muscle group pretty much engaged through our entire 5 phases of our paddle stroke. Because we're doing that for a shorter distance, our body can manage that. But when we're doing longer distance paddles, we're having to use or engage our trap muscles over and over again. We want to make sure we give it time to recover. So we do that during the exit phase and recovery phase of our paddle stroke. Give our body time to recover from engaging on muscle group. And we do every single paddle stroke repetition on the water. So as you can see, you can gain a massive leap in paddling performance by simply engaging your trap muscles. And there are some other exercises that you can also do off the water to increase the power and strength of your trap muscles to even provide you more power during your paddle stroke. And I've narrowed these down to 3 simple exercises. Now, I'm not personally demonstrating these exercises to you on video because I do a lot of these exercises at a public gym right now where it's not really suitable for filming myself doing these exercises. So I'm going to use a few other YouTube videos right here to demonstrate how to do these exercises if you're unfamiliar with them. But the first exercise is upright dumbbell rows. This is the first of 3 exercises that does a really good job at targeting your trap muscles. So with this, you're really focusing on engaging those trap muscles as you bring your dumbbells up and towards your chin and flexing them as you're pulling that heavy weight up to you. Now, your trap muscles are a very strong muscle group in your body, so you're able to do this at a heavier weight load and lower repetitions. So with this, you grab the 2 dumbbells in your hand, you pull them up towards your chin, You want to flex your trap muscles, bring your shoulders up and back as you bring those dumbbells up towards your chin with every single row that you're doing. The next exercise is barbell or dumbbell shrugs. So with this, we're not really focusing on simply shrugging our shoulders, but we're really focusing on, once again, engaging and flexing those trap muscles. So bring your shoulders up and back as you flex it with every single shrug that you're doing with a heavy weight in your hands. And then the last effective exercise is face pulls. And this involves you using a cable machine. So with this, you're going to stand in front of a cable machine and you're going to grab the rope in front of your hands right here as I'm demonstrating in the video and pull it directly towards your face. And once again, focus on flexing those trap muscles as you pull it to your face with every single face pull that you're doing. Now there are other exercises that you can do to also increase your trap muscles, but these are 3 highly effective exercises that you can do throughout your training in your week to greatly improve the strength and power of your trap muscles. So with that, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do have other thoughts or questions, feel free to write those in the comments down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one.